As soon as the movie starts, we see a young chef, Gao. He used to make very tasty food. He has a small recipe, but he keeps it safe and is very passionate about his profession. But the incident that happened with Gao was very bad. His father left him with a chef just so he could learn cooking. Gao had decided that one day he would become a very big chef and would achieve everything he couldn't do in his childhood. Gao's father was a very good chef and by now had become an amazing chef, a kind of master chef. But his son, Gao, hated him very much because he had spent his childhood, meaning his sister, without his father. He would even miss him. But this didn't bother his father at all. On the other hand, Gao's father, that master chef, was also happy that the world didn't know that he had a son, and this fact made Gao even more upset. Now the scene changes, and we see a world-famous, handsome, and young chef. He used to cook for very rich and royal families. His name was Paul. Paul had a dream that he would build a restaurant in his city for his father. Therefore, leaving abroad and refusing all offers, he returns to his city. There, he goes to a fish seller and says, "Show me a big fish." The fish seller refuses him. But as soon as Gao comes to him to get a big fish, the man gives him the fish. Seeing this, Paul gets very angry and glares at Gao, as if challenging him. Why did he give him the fish? The fish seller, seeing both of them there, cuts the fish into 2 pieces so that they don't fight. But they still keep staring at each other angrily. Now we see Paul's magnificent and very expensive restaurant, whose opening is today. It is made in a very neat, clean, and advanced manner, and it is a very open restaurant, decorated very nicely. The new restaurant that Paul opened was exactly opposite Cao's restaurant. Seeing this, Cao's friends get tense because this new restaurant was going to attract all the customers and take them away from them. And what they feared happened. All the people go to the new restaurant to check out the taste. So, Cao's friends support Cao by making certificates and advertisements that attract the customers, and they come back towards Cao's restaurant. After this incident, Paul's friends get very angry and talk to them with anger, asking, "What is your problem? We can't stand your success." It is decided between both parties that why not have a competition to see which chef has better skills. Now both are asked to participate in a competition. At first, they are not willing, but when they see each other, they recognize each other from that day at the fish stall. So they agree to the competition. Now the table is set, and a big fish is placed on it, which both had to cut. First, Paul cuts the fish and starts removing its bones very smoothly and quickly, and everyone likes his method. Now he fries the fish. Then Cao also cuts the fish in a very good way, and when he shows it to everyone, there is not a single blemish on it, meaning not a single piece of fish meat is stuck on it, so everyone admires him too, meaning both are praised equally. Now there is also a judge present there. Now they had to prove who is the better chef, so both become ready. Now Paul tells the media, "I used to cook in France, and after coming to China, I realized that people still cook using old methods." And by the way, he says this while looking at Cao. Seeing this, Cao gets very angry. Now everyone gets to know that first there will be a competition between them. His friend tells him to come to the restaurant, saying, "Come eat at our place." Now both of them, Cao and his friend, go to Paul's restaurant. But they are served food not by Paul, but by Paul's friend. Visually, the food looked like fried egg in a plant pot, but its taste was completely different. Seeing this, Cao thinks that Paul's cooking is very advanced. So he goes straight to the kitchen and confronts him, saying, "Paul, by showing off your food nicely, what do you want to prove? That you are a very good cook?" Paul remains silent and challenges him to cook meat, saying, "Let's see who can cook meat better." Cao accepts the challenge. Now Cao cooks the meat in a very good way. It looks very delicious. Now Paul tells him, "I will make the same dish with the same recipe and show you." Paul starts and makes the same dish in a very short time. When Cao smells it, he feels no difference between his dish and Paul's dish. So he understands that indeed his cooking method is very advanced. He becomes disheartened and leaves from there. Now the next round of the international cooking competition happens. Preparations for the competition are going on. The competition begins. Paul and Cao are also ready. Time starts. Paul has a Western dish, and Cao has a Chinese dish. Both work hard to prepare their dishes. Paul finishes his dish before time. But after that, Cao's amazing dish is also ready. He also completed his given task on time. The judges and audience are very interested. Now their dishes are tasted, and both get the same points because the judges didn't find much difference in their food, meaning both dishes were very tasty. Then a judge comes on stage to resolve this tie and says, the preparation of both dishes was excellent, but in terms of time management, I liked Paul's more. Therefore, Paul wins this competition. Paul becomes very happy here. Cal, having lost the competition, becomes very sad and, because of this, does not even go home and goes to play video games. He spends many days like this. One day, the same chef with whom he spent his childhood and with whom Cal's friend left him, comes to him. He explains to him, look, Cal, winning and losing are a part of life. If you couldn't win today, doesn't mean you won't win tomorrow. But Cal was not ready to go home. After much persuasion, he is convinced that he must go home and prepare for the next competition. Now Paul, being very happy, goes to his restaurant. He is enjoying a lot. In front of him, his friends are sitting. During conversation, his friend asks him, Paul, why don't you give your girlfriend a chance? She has been with you for so long. Trust her, allow her to represent your restaurant internationally, and raise its name. Paul replies, yes, she is my good girlfriend, didn't refuse because of that. But man, she doesn't even know how to cook. How can she represent my restaurant internationally? Then his friend continues talking, and it seems as if he is colluding with his girlfriend, and there is greed in their hearts. Just then, Paul's girlfriend arrives, and, placing 2 cups of soup in front of him, asks, Paul, can you tell me which of these 2 soups is salter? Here, Paul gets confused because he lacks the ability to taste. His taste buds simply cannot do that, and this was natural. Due to this incident, Paul is very saddened that his own girlfriend, along with his other friends, cheated and betrayed him. So now his girlfriend says, what happened, Paul? You thought I loved you? That was your misunderstanding. That's not how it is these days. I was only friends with you so that I could use you to get into the international competition. Otherwise, it wasn't possible for me. But in return for keeping your secret all this time, what did you give me? Couldn't you give me an offer? But not anymore. Now I won't be confused because I can also go to that competition. Now, a big revelation happens here. Paul's girlfriend, along with Paul's own friend, was cheating on Paul because those two were in a relationship, and Paul's own partner was conspiring to sell Paul's restaurant and use the money to start their own life. But Paul couldn't let that happen. Paul gets very sad and comes out of his restaurant. Night had fallen, and he sits outside drinking. Just then, Cal sees him, comes to him, and asks, Paul, why are you sitting sadly, man? You've won. You should be happy. Paul tells him, yes, I've won, but I've also lost a lot. Paul points towards someone and says, that's my ideal. I want to become like him. Cal smiles slightly and says, Paul, he's my father. You think he's a good person and you want to be like him, having struggled without him. Paul says, okay, don't be sad. What can we do now? Cal says, we can throw bottles. So they both start throwing empty bottles towards the sea and have a lot of fun. Here, friendship develops between the two, and this scene is very cute. Now when Paul returns to his restaurant from there, he sees that his friends are selling off his restaurant. Paul asks them, what is happening? How can you do this without my permission? His friend tells him, tell me this. Who will you take with you as a partner in the international competition? Because in round 2, you cannot cook alone. You will take the same friend you took with you. Paul says, my mind isn't crazy. I have decided who I will take with me. This is indeed disturbing. Here, Paul takes Cal's name. Hearing this, his friends are quite surprised. Really? You have decided that you will take Cal with you? Paul says, yes, why not? And he pats Cal on the shoulder and says, yes, this is the decision. Everyone is very happy. Now preparations for the competition begin. It is decided between them that Paul will teach Cal his new techniques, while Cal will teach Paul his old methods of cooking. Cal tells Paul, don't worry. If your taste buds aren't working, I will help you get your taste back. He keeps explaining to him, do it this way. And Paul also keeps teaching him new methods. They spend a very good time together. They practice cooking together daily, dance, sing, and party. Now their friendship had deepened. Now the day arrives for round 2 of the international competition. Both start making their dish in a very good way and prepare a very tasty sweet dish in a short time. The judges like it so much that they say, we have never eaten such a dish before. And they finish this round. It is rightly said that unity is strength. Now the next round is about to begin, the third round, which was after some time. And this competition of theirs was against the same master chef, i.e., Cow's father. Here, Paul tells Cow, "I think you can win this competition, so you go ahead." Cow tells Paul, "You are a very good chef. You know advanced techniques too, and you can do better than me." Paul says, "No, it's not like that. Look, I fulfilled my father's dream by building my own restaurant. So you fulfill your father's dream. He wanted to see you as a very good chef. So go in front of him, cook, and prove to him that you can become a very good chef." So Cow agrees and thanks Paul. Now the third and final round has started. On the other side, the master chef also starts making his dish. Cow also starts. But before starting, he starts remembering his childhood, when his father had left him and he was bullied by children. He gets lost in those memories. His father comes and splashes water on his face and says, "Start your work." So now Cow starts making something. On the other side, Cow's father, the master chef, makes a very beautiful sweet dish, like fire is lit and a flower emerges from it. Its taste is excellent. When it's Cow's turn to show what he has made, he makes noodles in a bowl and goes straight to his father and presents it to him. The master chef tastes them, and he likes the noodles very much. These are the same noodles for which Cow was scolded by his father, who had said, "You can't even make noodles." And today, Cow had made such tasty noodles that his father doesn't stop eating them and eats them quickly. He says to his son, "Well done, son. You have made very good noodles." From their behavior here, it seems that they are father and son. Cow's dream was fulfilled here, and so was his father's. But at the end, we see in the restaurant that Paul and Cow now work together, and their partnership brings them great success. So friends, this was the film Cook Up a Storm. If you enjoyed this explanation, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss any new videos. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Your support means a lot.